Alright, a lot of dual ride line support along with the Keter Ace unit, so let's begin. So first off, let's start off with the dual ride line support with Wrought Iron Knight Starbird, which is a grade 2 with taking power in the skills. Count, if your Vanguard is at least a grade 3 Culti Blaze or Z-Hens, this card gets the boost ability and all the following abilities. So when placed on rearguard, choose a Smith card from your order zone and stand it, and then if you did not stand, look at top 5 cards of your deck to choose up to one card from among them and put it to your soul, and of course shuffle your deck. So this part is very helpful because 1, it's a free search for basically for the respective decks, and 2, for Seahin's case, restanding the Forge card is just very helpful. Basically, of course, letting you reuse abilities. So this itself is already pretty good, especially since it's free. But the second skill is Auto Rearguard once per turn. At the end of the battle your Vanguard attacked, if your opponent's Vanguard is at least grade 3, cast this card cover in hand, and perform either one of the followings. Choose one of your Vanguards and change its drive check to 1 in a turn, or all your front row units goes with Flaky Pounding in turn. The extra drive check part doesn't really matter for Culti Blaze since that one just restands with a drive check anyway, but for Z-Hen, it drive checks to 0. So of course you're going to pick the power buff if you're playing Culti Blaze, but for Z-Hen, it could be either depending on scenario, but I prefer the drive check for that one. But overall, it's a good addition for both decks. And now to a Gear Dragon support, Eternal and Immortal Gear Parrot, which is grade 1 with power in the skill is. Count, if your Vanguard is Gear Dragon, this card gets all the following abilities. So the first one is Auto, when placed on rearguard, choose a normal unit that is not Sentinel from your drop zone or bind zone and put it to the bottom deck, and if you chose a card, this card gets a spiky power in turn. This is very nice for those basically Gear Chronicle based decks, just for the fact that you could just do some recycling, especially since they do call from deck with the time leave mechanic basically. With the second section where Auto, when this card is put to the bottom of the deck from rearguard or from the bomb zone by a card ability during your turn, if your Vanguard is at least grade 3, costs Counter Blast 1 or Nature Blast 3 to draw a card and choose one of your units against with Flaky Bounty in turn. This is just of course pretty good because you will be recycling a lot in the Time Stamping Dragon, although for Chrono Dragon, not as much if you're playing the D version, but in Premium definitely a lot. But it's still very usable and it's nice that you're getting extra draw power and the extra energy usage that you're not really using much energy for the deck anyway. But I would mainly use this for the recycling part because sometimes the deck does run out of resources for you to call. And now to Impuldio Norlinger, Intent Disseminator, which is a grade 1 with power in the skills. Count, if your Vanguard is at least a grade 3 Impuldio Norlinger, gets all the following ability. So the first section is Auto, when placed on rearguard from hand, Soul Blast 1, look at top 7 cards of your deck to choose up to one Meteorite or one card that is at least grade 3 with different name to your Vanguard and put it to your hand. Searching is always good, especially for the two decks that barely uses Soul, or in Norlinger's case, Soul charges a lot more than it actually Soul Blasts. Of course, for Impuldio, you mainly want to search Winston, but for Norlinger, you have like so many different targets that it's actually kind of insane. With the second skill, Auto, when boosts, this unit gets 2k power in a battle, basically 10k booster, which can be helpful behind the Vanguard, especially since both decks don't really use much boosters. But overall, it's a very decent card, mainly for the search. And now for the new generics. So first off, we go with the Keter generic, Cavalry Armor Dragon Shavelzeld, which is of course the grade 3 returning power, has the skill of Count Rearguard Guardian, Intercept, and plus 5k shield, with the unique part of Auto when placed on rearguard other than during battle. If your Vanguard is at least grade 3, cost Energy Blast 3, until your turn it gets the boost ability and plus 5k, which could actually be pretty useful for some Keter decks, especially Bastion. But if you have either 4 damage or you personalize during turn, look at top 3 cards of your deck to choose up to one grade 3 or less card and call it to rearguard, and plus 5k power in turn. Put the rest in the bottom deck in any order. Comparing to all the other grade 3 generics in this set, this one might actually be a little more useful, but of course it does depend on what deck you play it on, but overall it's not too bad, so run it in your own leisure. And now finally to the Keter's Ace unit, which is also the cover card for some reason, Knight of Holy White Iskidit, which is a grade 2 with 10k power, and once again Ace unit, so 1 per deck, unique skill, once per game, so when placed on rearguard other than during battle, this card gets 5k power, and then cost Energy Blast 3, look top 7 cards of your deck to choose up to one normal unit with grade less than or equal to your Vanguard and call it to rearguard, and of course shuffle your deck, and then you choose this unit or that called unit, and it gets this skill until opponent's next turn. Count rearguard, this unit cannot be chosen or be retired by your opponent's card abilities. So it's very nice that you get a superior call unit one time with some protection in it. Nothing fancy, but could be very helpful, so of course run it in your own leisure. With the second skill, Auto Rearguard, when this card attacks, if your opponent's Vanguard is at least grade 3 plus 5k, but if you have 4 more rearguards plus another 5k into the end of the battle. Once again, it's just another one of those Ace units where you could run it if you want, but this one's pretty decent for any Keter deck since a superior calling is always pretty nice. And so that's it for the new Keter Ace unit along with the dual ride line support. What do you guys think of them? The Ace unit and the generic is just whatever, but they are decent options to run. As for the dual ride line support, they're pretty decent for their respective decks, especially since I'm going to be playing some of them, so I'm just happy to see more support for them, although I'm still waiting for new boss units for some of them. But on that, that's it for this, and see you all next time.